Hosea married a whore. Today we're going to start the study of the Old Testament book of Hosea. Hosea is one of the 12 minor prophets in the Bible. Hosea's ministry continued after King Jeroboam II died, and all the way to King Hezekiah, who reigned in Judah. Altogether, it was about 30 or 40 years that Hosea preached. We only know a few things about Hosea, and we find those in the short book, the short Old Testament book named after him. At that time in this society, things were terribly messed up there in the capital city of Samaria. After Jeroboam II was out of the picture, 4 out of 6 of the remaining kings, they were assassinated. You can read about this in 2 Kings 15, 8 through 31. You read there that all of the kings did evil in the sight of the Lord. Some of the kings tried to negotiate with the powerful kings of Assyria, even tried to give them money to bribe them not to take over and seize their kingdoms. For example, this one king that you can read about, he gave money. He was trying to bribe him. Here's the verse. Later on, the Assyrians did go ahead and invade Judah, and they took the Israelites as their slaves. Okay, let's back up. Before God used Assyria to invade the Israelites and take them into exile, what was God's perspective? Well, God knew that the Israelites had a root problem down deep, and the problem was idolatry. And he sent Hosea to go and warn them, to preach to them. And he preached with sadness, and he warned them that God was going to use the Assyrians to take them into exile. But also Hosea spoke words of hope to the faithful remnant of Israel. Hosea, he knew that after God had destroyed them, and yes, God had promised that he would do that, he knew that he would renew them again. So the Lord called Hosea to serve him. What did he want him to do? He wanted him to marry a woman who was a prostitute, and her name was Gomer. God wanted him to marry her. Now, why did God do that? Well, God wanted to show Israel, look, Hosea is married to a prostitute. He wanted to use Hosea as an example to the Israelites that this is their behavior towards God. They were worshiping their false gods that they were in love with. They were not loving the one true God. They were guilty of spiritual adultery. It seemed that Israel was finished, that God had given up on him. Had he? No, the Lord did not give up on Israel. The Israelites are God's spiritual people. Hosea went and preached to them to draw Israel back to God. Hosea warned them, do not continue in this spiritual adultery, or you will be finished. Now let's apply this to our Christian life today. All throughout the Bible, God uses a picture of himself as being the bridegroom and Israel being his spiritual bride. Wow, that is a picture of the depth of God's love for his people. God has called us to love him deeply also. He wants us to know him and enjoy him with our minds and with our hearts, the same as he loves us. This is a beautiful picture of what a godly marriage is all about, between a husband and wife together. If you are a follower of Christ, your goal is to have this kind of a relationship, the kind of a relationship that your Heavenly Father wants to have, fulfilling, satisfying relationship that can only be experienced through him, nowhere else with anyone else. Some of you are addicted to pornography. If you want to disconnect and be free from this addiction that you are struggling with, sexual addiction or maybe adultery, something like this, maybe homosexuality, different kinds of sexual things, and you want to be free of all of this, what do? Well, you follow closely with the Lord. You get to know him and develop a close relationship with him. Whatever the problem is, the sin is, your relationship with him, he can help you with this. He will do the work to help you. Continue to have a close relationship with him, and you will sin less and less, and you will be successful and free from the addictions and the sins that you have. Free from the sins and the things of this world. Salvation through Christ comes first, and then you will develop these abilities to be free from sin. Coram Deo.